Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
So, hello, everyone. We will start, and because we have just few people on the call today, we will focus a little bit on the topic, of course, of today's class because it's a great topic. It's a very important topic for all the healers and intuitives to learn. So, and then maybe we can do a little bit of even a demonstration or practice so that you can take this learning and start using it and applying it in your work or in your work you already have with your clients or future clients moving forward. I also would like to let me introduce myself again. I think everyone on the call except Rose, who we just met and had a really nice conversation. So Rose, enchantée. So we will let me introduce myself quickly. My name is Katya Dmitriev. I'm intuitive life coach and founder and one of the teachers. I can proudly say actually that I'm just one of the teachers in the academy where we teach and certify intuitive life coaches. We are a PCC level certification program, level 2. So there are so many like abbreviation, but take our word. It's an important accreditation for all professional coaches. And I would like to introduce to you today our lead teacher, Ася. Ася, hello. By the way, Ася, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? A little bit better?
I'm better. So you could still hear it in my voice a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm better.
Yeah, I'm sorry to get. I always say it like a sexy voice, right? When we get sick, it's like it's a deep voice. Probably we don't feel good, but sometimes it sounds very 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 nice. Okay, so I hope I see you will feel better. So let me know, I see, if you want me to share at some point the presentation, I will do that. But let me start with the beginning of our conversation. Then I will share the our our presentation, and we will go from there. So today's a very very like a topic that is very very dear to my heart and the heart of every practicing successful coach, because we will be focusing on the most important aspect of communication. What do you think? Like when I just said that, the most important aspect of communication, what comes to mind? Like if you don't, you are welcome to say it out loud, or you can put it in the chat. Like, what do you think is the most important aspect of communication? Exactly. Thank you so much, Tracy. It's listening. It's ironic, right? Because we would think, oh, it's probably talk. Communication means talking. No, it's listening. And when holistic practitioners, coaches, therapists, doctors understand that, then they kind of crack the code of establishing and creating a really successful relationship with their patients and clients. Not when we talk, but actually when we listen. I love this saying of my coach, David Meltzer. He likes to say, be interested, not interesting. Right? Like that's so, like it's such a short but like really beautiful phrase that has a lot of meaning to it, right? And especially in today's world of social media, of I would say like exhibitionism, right? Like a lot of like videos, people trying to present themselves, sell their services, talk about what they are, who they are. They are trying to be interesting, right? So we pay attention to them. But I think the most important thing was to be interested. And I can share quickly a story from my own childhood. When I was 5 years old, and my mom took me to the Black Sea for the vacation, and I would go around on the beach and talk to people. And then I would come back from that like a 2 hour conversation with everybody who I could who I could stalk on a catch or on the beach, and with fruits, and and like my mom would say, again, you making a living talking to people. And my innate ability, gift, if you can call it, was in this conversation with people, was asking them question and listening to their stories. All I did was like, okay, is it your wife? Do you love her? Do you have kid? Like, tell me your story. So from like very, very early age, I was really, really interested in people's stories. And of course, it was probably very cute and funny. And, people were enjoying this little kid who was approach them and talk to them. At that time, of course, I didn't understand that it was something special, or I could do something about it moving forward, or it could become my profession. At that time, I was just openly, sincerely interested and curious in people's lives. And I was really interested in them. So, and they paid me back with fruits and their attention, and that was like a great story for me to remember. So, as I said, that the most important, this is quite ironic, right? That the most important thing in communication is the aspect of listening. And what do we do in real life? We listen, um, often for hearing words and responding based on a surface level understanding of what we heard, right? And also we are focused on our inner voice. So people, we in just everyday life, we listen with intention to what? To reply, rather than to truly listen and understand, right? So catch yourself, like really right now, be honest with yourselves and put it in the chat. Like, what kind of listener are you? Like, honestly, from 1 to 10. 1 being like, probably I'm listening with intention to reply right away, right? And 10 being like, I'm such an amazing listener because I listen just to listen to the person, right? So we listen to reply, and in that moment, we are focused on our own inner voice. It means that we are considering our own thoughts, feelings, opinions, and conclusions, right? So it's all about, oh, wait, what is she saying? Like, oh, no. Let me explain to her that that's not how it is. Or let me share with her my story, right? And this is not the real magic of deep, real communication, right? It's like it's very this type of, we call it a first level of listening, instead of bringing people together, it isolates us. It brings conflict, misunderstanding. That's what we can see in the world, what's happening, right? People are not able. Why there are so many wars? Is it because all people are so bad? Sometimes there are some thoughts of those, but not necessarily, because people don't know how to communicate, how to talk, how to listen, how to understand each other, how to really understand each other. So I will share the presentation with you. So, and I hope that Ася can walk us through how Intuitive Life Coaches or Intuitive Life Coaching Academy actually approach this listening, right? The most important aspect of communication. How different it is from what I just shared with you. And I also would like to, okay, let me share it.
I could actually share it from my screen too.
Okay, let me give you the, yeah, so I think it will be better. Yeah, so what's different between our normal sharing, listening, and really deep intuitive life coaching listening? Are you able to share, Ася? Perfect. And you are muted also.
Okay, sorry, I'm somehow at the very end of the presentation instead of the beginning. Let me fix that. Okay, so yeah, listening. Thank you for that introduction, Katya, because it's such a yeah, it's something that we do all the time, every day. And I love, like, somebody just shared in the chat, for some reason I can't see the chat right now, but something, it just depends, like when they're stressed out, it's like a 6, but then in other times when they can be like focused, they could, or like more present, it's a 9. And that's so that's just, I definitely relate to that. Okay. So I got some of these quotes about listening that I thought were cool. First, we think we listen, yet rarely do we listen with real understanding, true empathy. Yet listening of this very special kind is one of the most potent forces for change that I know. And this was Carl Rogers, who was, I think, the founder of like human psychology or something like that, like, or person focused psychology or something like that. And then another quote: one of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what another has to say. This is Brian H. McGill, who I don't know who that is, but I loved both of these quotes. And the idea of like listening, especially in a healing relationship, is really but begins to like build this trust and build this dynamic where if we're listening, people actually will be able to go much deeper into themselves, because they'll be able to feel comfortable, they'll be able to feel safe, and they'll be able to feel heard. And it's something that, it's an experience that we actually don't typically have often in our day-to-day lives. We're kind of going from one thing to another, but to really be focused on and really listen to and really be interested in, I love that quote too, that you said, Katya, is such a profound, powerful experience. So a little bit more about listening. Listening is truly the coach's superpower. It's the number one thing that we do. And it's something, again, because it's something that we do all the time, sometimes we can take it for granted and kind of forget the importance of it. And as we learn more tools and other ways to engage in different things that can bring about transformation, it's something that sometimes we can forget. So it's always important to come back, like to learn it in the beginning, middle, and end, to come back to it over and over again, like, oh yes, listening, oh yes, listening. It's always something that is important and something that we can continue to improve. And that's, the thing about becoming a coach, especially somebody who's already a healer, is you're learning the skills that you already have, just how to deepen them and how to make them, more powerful and use them more powerfully. Having someone really listen to what you are saying, it's a truly profound experience. And even that in and of itself can be transformational. Um, Listening, it can build trust and rapport with clients. And then as coaches, we believe that every client has the answers within them. And so, what we're doing as a coach is we're really trying to bring out the answers, bring out the solutions from within our clients. And when we listen, when the coach listening supports the clients in understanding themselves better, and then it gives them an avenue to access those answers within. So we talk about in our course, we talk about different types of listening and different levels of listening. And so I'm not going to go into all of the different types of listening, but what I want to talk about here is intuitive listening. And somebody mentioned active listening in the comments. And active listening is great, but what we're talking about here is actually a step further than active listening. Active listening is really, it's kind of this where you're paying attention to the tone of voice, energy level, feeling. Like active listening is kind of paying attention to more than just the words being said. But intuitive listening is going even deeper. You're also paying attention to what's not being said. And then you're listening to everything. You're listening to what is being said, the tone of voice, the energy level, the feelings, and also intuitively kind of trying to connect to your client, trying to connect kind of spiritually to what is really the real message going on here. And it could be called like 360 listening. And the way that I think about it a lot of times is those you don't see them as much, but when I was a kid we saw those like images that just look like kind of a bunch of random colors and things like that, and then you kind of look at it and it's like, what is that? But if you kind of look at it for a while, like blur your focus, you could kind of see an image emerge. And it's similar to that, where it's sometimes it's not even as important, like you want to listen to everything that's being said, but you also kind of want to be able to take a step back and kind of look at the whole picture. And sometimes the words that are being said isn't even the most important thing. It's more like, how can I see what's going on? How could I see the big picture and like allow myself to just let the message emerge? Listening at 360s is what I just talked about. And this is truly the most powerful form of listening. And this is just like a example of what this could look like, where a client says, I had the toughest time trying to get myself up a half an hour early to take my morning walk. And the coach, kind of after sitting with it and feeling into it without so much thinking about it, says, it sounds like you really want to do this, but you're so exhausted that you find it very challenging and maybe even a little frustrating. And I love that response because it also validates that this is something that's important to client. It's not just like, oh, if you're not doing it, that means it doesn't, you don't really want it. And if you really wanted it, you would just do anything. Like it really sees the client where they are. This is something that's important to you. It's something that you want. And it's genuinely hard for real reasons. And just, kind of side note, I really can get really into talking. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to like pause me at any time. Okay, so what is the process of listening? Keep my eye on, sorry, move the pictures around here a little bit. First is listen intuitively. And this is what we've been talking about. Listening, that 360 listening to everything that's going on, trying to take in the full picture, beyond just what is being said in the moment. And then also doing that without thinking, okay, how do I respond? What's the question that I'm going to ask? What do I think about this? How does this relate to me? Without thinking of a response. You're just taking in what the person says. And then in order for them to know that you listened, right, then we reflect back what was said. And then you could ask for clarification, like, was that right? Did I get anything? Is there anything else? And if there is something more, then you can give space for any elaboration. And then if, as they have space, then you kind of repeat the process. So give space for elaboration, then you go back to listening intuitively and until they're done, until the client is done. All right. So let's go ahead and let's practice this. What I want to do first, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my share. Okay, so somebody asked me, I'm looking at the being empathetic. Yeah, definitely, like being empathetic. Somebody asked in the chat, does it mean you're being empathetic? I think being empathetic is incredibly important. But it's so it's definitely part of intuitive listening. I would say that it's part of it. It's not all of it, but it's part of it for sure. Then Rose said, using your intuition, are you trying to be in tune with them, what they're not saying? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. Okay, so any questions about any of the presentation before we practice? And I just realized that my battery is low, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug my phone. Okay, so what I want to do before I open it up is I want to practice if it's excuse me. Does anybody want, first I'm gonna model it. Does anybody want to just volunteer to share anything with us? It doesn't have to, I mean, it could be something kind of deep that you're struggling with right now. It could be something that, a good experience that you had that you'd like to share. It could be something mundane, just kind of anything that anybody wants to share with us.
I could share. It's Rose. Good morning again. I was just wondering, well, what I'm facing right now. I have a son, he's 8.5, and he has Down syndrome, and I'm home. And yesterday he was sick. I had to take him to the emergency room, and I literally found myself like emotionally freezing. It's not the first occurrence, okay, but each time it happens, my mind goes many places. One, do I call 911? Do I call XYZ to come and help me? Because I'm a solo parent, meaning everything falls on me. I have sole custody, so whatever happens, I'm basically the person to take care of everything. So yes, when he was having upper respiratory symptoms and then stomach ache and vomited. So I'm a healthcare worker too. So I understand what the steps intellectually to do. But as his mother, that parent, and I go to this freeze moment, I do get things done, but emotionally, I get exhausted after it's over. I do get it done. We went to the hospital, we have everything. But when I came home, I was just like so exhausted that sometimes I feel like, how long can I go through with it? And it's part of his condition. I'm happy when it doesn't happen, but when it does, I get so overwhelmed. I just don't know what else to do. So I just wanted to share that partly just to, just to share. But it's just, and now that I want to be a coach, I'm like, how can I do that for someone else? When they're going through their own overwhelm. So that I felt motivated to share it too because of what you said. As far as just listen to that person intuitively, and then when you were saying earlier about them being frustrated with the exercise, and that's another thing that's interfere. It's like I try to do the things that I need to do to keep me healthy, but when I'm emotionally tired, this is the last thing I want to do. So today, being here with you ladies and gents, it's for me, it's me recalibrating my mind because I'm around people who are intuitive. I love that because I the energy revives me and everything. But as a solo parent, it's just hard because it's like I feel like I have so many on my plate. I just don't know how to be. I feel like I don't have much to give anybody. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Thank you. I love your presentation. So you give me words what I couldn't, what I was feeling earlier. So you just give me words, your presentation. So that's why I'm even able to say it. And I think Katia also. So yeah, that's it. I could say more. I don't want to babble, but that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Rose, for sharing. And I appreciate you sharing like so vulnerably and honestly. And what I'm hearing you say is that you're in this kind of really difficult situation where you're a single mom and you have a son who has Down syndrome. So, not only does he have all the needs of any child, he also has these extra special needs. And you have to really dig deep to show up the way that you need to as a mom, and you do over and over again, and you continue to dig deep and you continue to show up, and you're exhausted and it's really hard, and you question how long you'll be able to do that, and you still do it, and you continue to show up, and you still continue to dig deep, and it's not easy, and you're tired. And I also hear that you need some space and time to kind of fill your cup and recharge. Did I get it all? No. Yeah, thank you for being with us today. You're on mute, sweetie. You're on mute. Rose?
Rose, you are on mute.
You're
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you did. You did. You give everything the feedback, and thank you. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm giving facts, but yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I want to help, I want to help people, but sometimes I feel like I'm doing from an empty cup. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that too. It's like that you have that desire to like be of service and help and like, and you're kind of drained and tapped out.
yeah, I am tapped out. That's a good word. That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So thanks for letting me share. I didn't think I wanted to share it, but yeah. Thanks for the environment. I appreciate it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing and for allowing us to like see a little piece of you as we practice this skill in this space. Like I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And I've always tried to be the strong one, but I don't have it all the time. So yeah. But thank you. Appreciate it. It feels good to be seen and heard. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
you're gonna be a great coach. So that's all I know for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
She is an amazing coach. Just recently, Asia received her PCC accreditation certification. So just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you
Right?
nailed it. Everything you said, it's like I said, it made me feel heard. It made me feel seen. I'm glad I came today. So I wasn't sure, but I'm glad I did. It's just sometimes I say in my head a lot because it keeps me going, like I was saying earlier. But it feels good to have somebody hear my heart because that's exactly how I feel. Everything you said. So
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that feedback from you also, and I appreciate that you, I appreciate that sharing that. And Kimberly said, when I was raising my son on my own without special needs, I found myself in the closet screaming, crying into a pillow many times. Thank you for being so brave and vulnerable. You are a very strong, powerful mama. So thank you for sharing that, Kimberly.
thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
He keeps me going, but I just, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Keep going.
And I wanna point out too how just that space, like in my little like breakdown of how to listen, one of the things I said is like ask, if there's any more. But just the act of listening, usually people start sharing more. People, without being prompted, people will use the space and share more and be able to go deeper and be able to connect with their feelings and be able to drop into a place in themselves that they don't typically access in their day-to-day running around doing lives, right? And that's just being heard. If that's all you do as a coach, if that's all you do in your relationship with people, that can produce profound changes. So just mastering that skill, and that art of listening is kind of like you're 90% there as a coach. Okay, so Katya, should we do some more practice, or do you want to move on to something else?
Absolutely. Like if someone is willing,
So-
is interested to do that, absolutely.
So does anybody else want to try listening and try sharing? Now we need 2 volunteers, one to share something and one to do the reflecting back. Anybody?
Tracy, yeah, will share.
Tracy will share. Oh, okay. Okay, Tracy will share. Anybody? Excuse me. I mean, I'm looking at you, Kimberly, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
I had a feeling. All right, I'll give it a shot.
Thank you.
Hello. Well, I'm here to I'm trying to learn and incorporate some stuff into my business that I'm trying to start. But what I want to share with you guys today, I think I'll share just for the point of sharing, because we were talking about how important it is to listen to somebody. I've been recently, for the past, I don't know, a year and a half, going through some medical issues. And in the last couple weeks, I was super ill. And I went to the ER. Actually, I went to multiple ERs. And I find that with, you try to explain your symptoms and what you're feeling. And it's like when you walk into a Western doctor's office or ER, they don't want to listen to you. They're not even basically, I felt they didn't even really want to listen to my symptoms. None of them ever even gave me really any kind of medications, any kind of indication of what was wrong with me. And I went to 7 different ERs in a week and a half. And they all treated me like I was crazy. I don't do drugs or drink. I smoke marijuana, I guess, but they treated me like I was an alcoholic, like I was doing street drugs, that I was crazy, that the symptoms I was feeling, I was not actually experiencing because they couldn't see physically them on the outside, other than me being in a little bit of pain. I just find that Western doctors, I believe, should be taught better on how to actually listen to a patient. And I figure since we're all holistic and we're trying to be healers, I think that's what separates us. Not saying that we could tell what's wrong, but at least we're trying to listen to the person.
So it sounds like all those doctors that you went to, all those emergency rooms, that rather than getting the help that you were seeking, it sounds like you felt judged. It felt like you felt persecuted, and knowing what you know based on what you do, you it sounds like you appreciate that they could have done much better. Am I getting this right? And instead of making you feel much
Yes.
more small, you did not get the nurturing
Exactly.
that.
Like yeah, like it was not a nurturing experience. It was actually kind of horrific to walk out of 7 different ERs feeling exactly the same way, lost, still sick, no answers to why I was feeling the way I was. And actually, they didn't even give me any kind of medication because none of them could tell me what was wrong with me. I've actually been spending lots of time outside and self-healing myself, and that's how I'm actually managing to get over the rough patch that I was having.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I can definitely relate, and I know that, yeah, Western medicine can be a little bit of a challenge these days. It's definitely changed over the years. I can definitely see that in my own experience as well. Um, and I'm happy that you are getting the help that you need through nature and natural resources. I'm hoping that you continue that. And again, thank you so much for sharing. I get all of your um, concerns addressed? Did I reflect that back to you properly?
Yes, actually, you did very awesome. And like I said, better than any of the ER doctors I've had my experience with in the last little couple weeks.
I will definitely share. Nature is the cure. I'm sitting in a bunch of trees right now. Mhm.
Yeah, me too. It's awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for your vulnerability and sharing. And this is a great, right? I said this is a great example of how giving attention, sincere, honest, open-hearted attention to people. And we are here for that. If we say, when we say that we are healers, that's actually what we want. To be a healer, to be intuitive life coach, it means you want to be in people helping modality, right? People helping business. That's what that's our passion, to help others. And nothing can help better people than the right tool, technique of listening, right? The proper way of intuitive level 3 listening. And what we see in our program, we have doctors, nurses, MDs who going through the program, they recognize how much they are learning will help their patients. And we have our students and graduating students right now who are saying that they will actually be bringing coaching or our integrated intuitive life coaching method into the hospitals, into their medical practices, so that not only they are physical healers, but they will know how to listen, talk, communicate, ask questions, how to find the right answers from the people that they find the answers within, or that they feel heard, understood, important, right? Like what Tracy also shared, her experience, that the most that what I heard intuitively was not only necessarily inability of those doctors to diagnose her, but also the judgment, right? The judgment they put on like who you are, like that maybe you are faking it, maybe you are just you lying that you have the symptoms, and also the inability and disinterest to care, right? You go into emergency, which is like an urgent care, and then there is no, the word care is taken away from that. That's a horrible experience. And then uh, uh, there is no it takes away the whole idea of healing, right? Like if healers who call themselves healers, doctors, can give you a minute to listen and empathize and care about you, then, you know, we feel alone, we feel inadequate, we feel less than. So this is a horrible, horrible feeling, and it's right and left. That's why we're bringing this learning. That's why we're bringing this learning to our beautiful coaches and healers. That's why we want to bring that, so that you can go and better transform people's lives. You can give amazing quality of services, and people can be heard, loved, understood, accepted. That's the whole idea of what we do. That's the whole idea, right? So, and thank you so much for sharing that. So moving forward this week, we will be talking more about next steps, right? Like what we do, some great skills that you can take into and incorporate into your businesses, into your coaching, and how to connect, establish relationship with people. Because when you establish relationship, then when magic happens, then they open up, then you can have partnership dialogue, then the healing starts, right? Because I've experienced it myself when I went to a therapist, and I actually didn't want to say a word. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel heard. I just saw her looking at the clock all the time, and I was like, okay, even though I'm here to share, I don't want to share. So, which means the healing was not happening. I say yes. Please.
Oh, I just wanted to add to that. It's interesting. I mean, like, we have, like, currently we have like, we have a nurse, we have a doctor, we have some people who have been in, like, social work and things like that. And it's just amazing, always amazing to me how these skills, like, even the one who's been in social work, like, didn't really learn these skills in the way that we teach them in our program. And especially the doctor, because I also really have a lot of mistrust of, like, doctors and medical people, and I don't really like to go to them. And what we have throughout the course of the program, we do mentor coaching, and so the students will coach us as the teachers. And so the first session I had with the doctor that we have right now in our course, it was so very doctory. It was hilarious because I told her kind of what was going on with me, and then she immediately put her doctor hat on and gave me all kinds of advice and told me what I needed to do, and it was so great because in that moment I was the teacher and I could say, like, that's not what we do as coaches, and you did it completely wrong. And it was so hopeful for me to see, because she really took the feedback and was like, wow, okay, I totally see that, and really worked really hard to, like, change her approach and speak very differently and listen very differently. And it's just so for me, just a teeny tiny little bit of hope in the world, that now, like, these students that we have that are in the medical industry have this knowledge of, like, how to talk to people and how to listen to people, more importantly, that hopefully they can start spreading that within their fields more.
Yeah, great example. And, like, we're in a way ambassadors, right, of healing, like how ambassadors of the powerful communication tools. That's how we incorporate intuition, creativity, intuitive listening, and other very powerful skills and tools to transform people's lives too. And transformation starts with, like, a lot of people think, oh, transformation starts with this complex diagnostics or this. No, transformation starts right there from you being interested in the person. Right there. And it's so simple, right? It's so simple, but it's not. You know why it's not simple? Because we are like we are so what's the word I'm looking for? Like this is in our genes, right? This is old habit to listen, not to listen, to respond, to be in this place where we can be really heard and accepted. It's all about like us and showing off. It's not about people. It's about authority, telling people what to do, right? What's right for them. Let me tell you what's right for you. And in reality, we don't need that. We need to start with really connecting, hearing people out, establishing that relationship. And tomorrow we will be talking about the connection with people, how to establish a deep relationship and understanding with clients and your I want to say students and your patients, right? So don't miss tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And we will be also talking about our program moving forward. We will tell you the details of the program. And again, for those who have not had discovery call or client transformation call with me yet, schedule time to talk. Oksana shared the link, and let's stay connected. Let's keep learning. If you have any questions, please let me know. But we are
We
here.
had a question in the chat from
Let me look at the chat
from Rose.
from
How
Rose.
do you keep yourself from being
How do you keep yourself from being enmeshed in a person's feelings? That's a great question. That's what we that's what we learn in the academy, how to actually become professional. We call it a detached involvement tool, right? When you can help people even more if you are not taking on their energy and instead you are helping them being a little bit outside of that feeling, but being empathetic and help. So you will this week you will learn more and probably will get the answer to that question as well. So we always finish all our classes with a word. If you have a word to gift us, and maybe you can put it in the chat or say it out loud. Ася, what's your word?
My word is love.
Thank you so much. Oksana, what's your word?
energy?
Great. Kimberly, what's your word?
Mercy.
Mercy, that's a good one.
Mm.
Mercy, have mercy. I know. Rose.
I put it in the chat, relief, but after listening to what Kimberly said, mercy, I would say healing. But either one, relief or healing. So
Okay. Merci
they're
beaucoup.
synonymous anyway. When you relieve, you are healed. So yeah.
Yeah. Let go.
Tracy and Cheryl put in chat, Katya.
So Tracy, you saying
Compassion.
compassion. And Cheryl is saying peace. Thank you so much. And my word is love. Love. We need to love ourselves. That's when we can spread the love, when we can give love to others. And thank you so much for being here with us today. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We have more great information for you, and schedule the time to talk about the program. We are right now currently signing up for our next class. We will talk about it later in the week. And again, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay heard, stay connected, and I appreciate you guys, and see you, as I always say, see you later as alligators. And thank you very much, Asya. Beautiful presentation. I'm ready to listen to Asya all day long, even if it is the material that we know by heart. So thank you so much. Beautiful. You will be able to hear from Asya this week again. So thank you so much, and see you later, alligators. Bye, guys. See you
Bye.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Take care.